welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and yes, I talk about the pursuit of happiness, and I show you, the audience in the world, that Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day wherever you're located. So I am back. So I was going to come into the studio, and I had a show planned for Wednesday, and it was bad. As I say. So if you could tell, I am a little congested. I have a little runny nose, and I was getting ready to come into the studio Wednesday morning. When I woke up, I couldn't talk. And to be honest with you, that's not a good thing if you have a podcast and you can't talk, because podcasting is mostly talking. Well, it's all talking. I'm always rambling. So I couldn't come in Wednesday. I thought I could come in on Thursday morning. Woke up with a bad headache, sinus drip, congested. I was spitting up mucus. It was just, I couldn't do it. So I'm finally back into the studio. I'm well enough to where I can come and I could put out a podcast episode for you this Friday morning. And I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I'm rested up. I'm ready to go, and I hope you're having a good one. Remember that Jesus Christ is King, and he's coming back soon, so don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. I should say that at the beginning now, because there's a lot going on, and I think it's time for us to remember that as Christians, if you are a Christian, you should go ahead and remember that our hope does not lie in this world. It is in Christ and Christ alone. And that's what we need to put our faith in. So I want to encourage you with that. Yes, we are talking about politics today, but at the same time, remember that Jesus Christ is King and he is Lord of all. Let's jump into the topic. Just a reminder, if you're watching this, we do not have TikTok Live on this time. I am not banned. No, I'm not banned. I just, it's late in the afternoon. I was setting everything up, and I was like, man, I should do it, but I like doing it when I'm about to release the episode. Excuse me. And do all that good stuff. But, but today I thought, hey, let's go ahead and go back to the old way of doing things. We will do TikTok Live back again. I'm trying to work on some stuff. So, all right, let's start with our topics. And it's going to be expand over a few days. As I said, I wasn't here on Wednesday. But today, there was some interesting news that happened concerning Ukraine and Israel. And it got me thinking about something, because you have the Biden administration pushing Ukraine to continue this war. Now, Ukraine has been fighting this war, a little over 2 years now, and I believe Ukraine should defend themselves. I think Russia and Putin they're being bullies. Okay, I know it's a childish, way of putting it, but they're bullies. And Russia has always been this way. Russia, in this old Soviet Union with Mussolini, Russia has, for the most part, they always been in a dictatorship. They don't know what true freedom is. And Ukraine has the right to defend themselves. I don't think it was right that Russia invaded Ukraine. Now we know, and I'm bringing this out because later on I'm bringing out a point, the whole reason Russia did this, or Putin initiated this war, was to stop Ukraine from being part of NATO. He has made that point. And look, there's some reasons why. Okay, he is a bully. He is a dictator. He just got voted in, with air quotes, for the 5th time, where he won over 90% of the vote. And ladies and gentlemen, you're telling me that as big as Russia is, that only 95% of the country voted for him. And it goes to the point where his opponents, all of a sudden, when they announce they're running against Putin, they cease to exist. They by some weird form of accident, they unalive. Let's say it like that to please people. So you but going to that point, Russia is a bully, and Ukraine has a right to defend themselves. Going back to the NATO thing, he don't want NATO right next door to the country, because if NATO's right there and something happens in Russia with that country, the whole force of NATO is with that country. In this case, Ukraine. So he didn't want Ukraine being part of NATO, because he was already planning on invading Ukraine. If he invaded Ukraine while they were with NATO, NATO forces would have to go back them up. That is including the United States of America. So he didn't want that because, yeah, he can go fight a little country, but you have that, you know. I'm just saying. So the Biden administration. Let's go back to the main point. The Biden administration is adamant about saying, "Let Ukraine defend themselves. Ukraine has to defend themselves," and they're right on that part. I think Ukraine has the right to defend themselves. But if you go on the other side of the world, in the Middle East, not too far, there is a war between the country Israel and the terrorist group Hamas. If you remember, I think, trying to remember correctly, October 7th was a horrible day on our mobile devices. We saw news break that Israel was under attack. How Hamas went ahead and attacked Israel. And the whole world said Israel had the right to defend themselves. And I said it on the first program that I talked about this. Watch the Democrat Party or the leadership in the White House right now. They're going to slowly turn their back on Israel. And this has happened throughout the history of America with almost every president since Israel became a nation in 1948. Where the president of the United States, yes, Israel should defend themselves, but they need to go ahead and make sure that they're protecting, they need to do two-party system, they need to do this, they need to live with peace in the Middle East. George W. Bush, being a Republican, went ahead and told Israel they should go ahead and give up land and they would have peace. And they did not have peace. They part of that, I believe, was Gaza. And look what the mess they're having now. But going to this, across the aisle, remember, the Biden administration is saying Ukraine needs to defend themselves. We encourage them to fight. We encourage them to beat the bully called Vladimir Putin. And Israel, they say, yes, Israel should defend themselves, but they need to worry about the civilians. Now, I got a question. What about the civilians in Ukraine? You don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing about the Biden administration going to Ukraine and telling the Ukrainian people, you need to worry about the civilians. Please worry about the civilians. Don't go ahead and hurt the civilians. You don't see that on none of the mainstream media, but you see it in Israel with the Gaza Strip. And it goes to a point that they're telling Israel, you need to stop this war. Oh, you need to worry about the civilians. Oh, you need to do it. Oh, you need to a point where we had today President Joe Biden being tough on Benjamin Netanyahu. That's right. He called Benjamin Netanyahu, called him today, and Biden demanded Israel to enact an immediate ceasefire against Hamas terrorists. Seems to blame Israel for hostage negotiations. This is from the Daily Wire. Pull this up. So the Biden administration blames Israel for the hostages not being freed. And this was a call that Biden told Benjamin Netanyahu today. Listen, if you don't do something in the Gaza Strip, we're going to change the policies in the United States in Gaza, which is an interesting point. I wish he was that tough on the Mexican president, where we talked about the other day, where he's telling President Biden, I ain't going to change. I'm not closing the border until you change policies. And President Biden, oh yeah, we're going to do something different. But anyway, going on that note, he went ahead and he basically told Benjamin Netanyahu, listen, we gotta have peace in the Gaza Strip. We gotta stop this war and everything. So the question I have to ask, does Biden want war or does he want peace? Why do I say that? Because look, I just brought you out two scenarios. We have two wars going on that that the Biden administration is they're sticking their nose in, okay? And one, he's calling for peace. One, he's calling to keep the fight up. Now, I think both countries are similar. What you mean they're both similar? Well, they have a tyrannical government or a tyrannical people trying to dictate how they think, how they feel, and take away their freedoms. Ukraine wants to live in a peaceful country, and Putin wants to put them under the iron thumb of Russia. Hamas hates Israel. They want to annihilate Israel. They want to remove Israel off the face of the earth. They want to take their lands. They want to take their women. They want to go ahead and annihilate Israel. See, both countries have the same somewhat of the circumstance where there's someone that is tyrannical and or somebody that wants to take away their freedom. They have the right to defend themselves. But Biden is telling Israel, hey, stop. And he's telling Ukraine, continue. Wait a minute. What? They're both battling the same, basically the same issue. There's somebody that wants to take away their freedoms. But instead of Biden telling Israel, yes, go with full force and take out Hamas. Hamas is only in one little region. I think it's Ramah in the Gaza Strip. They're there. Their leadership is there, probably hiding on the ground, I heard today. And the Biden administration sound like they're standing up for the terrorists instead of our ally. And that's another thing. Israel is our ally. Ukraine is our ally in imagination land. There ain't no document of them being an ally that I'm aware of. But the Biden administration is telling Israel, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Oh, the people of Gaza, stop fighting, please. But they're telling Ukraine to continue fighting. Stand up to Russia. Fight Russia. Beat the big red country. So what does Biden want? Does he want war? Does he want peace? And look, that's not, I'm just talking about these two conflicts. That ain't talking about China trying to invade Taiwan. That isn't what's going on in Haiti. You're not hearing nothing of our consulate over there. What does Biden want? Does Biden want war or does Biden want peace? I'm getting these notifications that I'm working, and with me loading up my truck and everything, I'm seeing these articles come out, and I'm thinking to myself, you have Blinken over there, because this is from thehill.com. Blinken, Ukraine will become a member of NATO. Remember, this is what started this whole mess of Russia not wanting Ukraine to be part of NATO. And again, bringing out to my point earlier, if Ukraine becomes part of NATO, guess what? Russia's fighting now. If they get into another war, it's a World War III. I'm starting to think that's what Biden wants in Ukraine, a World War III. This could lead to World War III. But what's Biden doing? Does he want war? Does he want peace? Ladies and gentlemen, there's something going on in Ukraine. We've been knowing that for months now, years. You know, this all started with Hunter Biden. Remember him sitting down and he told the Ukrainian government, you fired that special prosecutor that's looking into my son and looking into Prisma. Well, SOB, I don't say that language on the show. Well, SOB, he got fired. That's when the problems in Ukraine started. I've already said this. Zelensky got some on Joe Biden. All right, and look, he's not bribed. He can't be bought. He can't be bought. He's been in politics for 50 years. He's been getting bought ever since he stepped into office. But Joe Biden, there's something going on with Ukraine. He wants that war to continue. There's something going on. Now, we're not hearing of the fighting and all that as we did at the beginning. So I know Russia shot some rockets and stuff the other day, but I don't know what's going on in this war. But there's a reason why Biden wants to keep this war going, and he's funding it. They're trying to pass another Ukrainian aid package, which I hope Mike Johnson has the stomach to stand up to him and not fold like he did last time. And with Israel, what's wrong with Israel? Well, that's all election. That's all because of election. See, because ladies and gentlemen, does Biden support Israel? To be honest with you, I don't think he likes Israel. The Democrat Party has never liked Israel. On that note, most of his base is on the Muslim side. This is one of the reasons why he is pushing for this ceasefire, because if you remember, in the primaries, and they're still going on, they're having this push to say not commit. And if you're looking at the numbers, Biden is losing a lot of them voters. And you have Robert Kennedy, you got Donald Trump on the heels of Joe Biden. and he's scared. So he's trying. Look, he can't lose none of the base. If you lose your base, you're done. And that's how I look at it. And he don't want to lose the base. He don't want to lose the Muslim votes that are in this country. Because on that note, and look, we know a lot of Jewish people vote Democrat, but most Muslim communities vote Democrat because they have the same spirit. But Joe Biden, does he want war? Does he want peace? Does Joe Biden want war or want peace? You can't tell one country, defend yourself, fight against the bully. Don't bow down to the monarchies. And then you go to the Middle East where Israel is fighting for its very existence and tell them, hey, stop fighting them people. You proved your point enough. That's what basically the Biden administration is doing. And look, you're not going to hear this from mainstream media. Does Biden want war? Or does Biden want peace? And that's a question that's been pondering in my head all day. Does the Biden administration want war? Or do they want peace? Because to be honest with you, it's confusing, but it's coming from a confused individual. And look, these two topics alone of Ukraine and with Israel is dividing this nation. Ukraine is dividing this nation because, hey, should we spend the money? Should we invest in this war? Does it fund the interests of America? And you have the Democrats who say, yeah, give them the money. Give them the money. That's inflation? Don't worry about inflation. Give Ukraine the money. And then we have Israel where people like myself are saying, look, Israel should stand up and annihilate Hamas. And you have others, oh, what about the Gaza people? That half of them support Hamas. And look, this whole thing when unfortunately Israel mistakenly hitting 7 individuals, killing 7 individuals by accident, they have apologized for it. They admitted to it. Now you have the president calling Benjamin Netanyahu and saying, you need to stop this. I will change my policies in Gaza if you don't stop. Trying to threaten a counterpart. An ally does Biden want war? Or does Biden want peace? And to be honest with you, seeing this, I don't know. And like I said, he is a confused individual. And it's, look, it's so bad the first lady is even getting involved. Joe Biden reportedly urged the president privately to end the war in Gaza. Stop it now. Well, she needs to be saying the same thing about Ukraine. Why don't President Joe Biden be a leader? Call Vladimir Putin, his counterpart, and call Zelensky and say, look, this war has cost us too much money. It has cost y'all too much money. Let's sit down and start having peace talks. Be a leader, President. Be the leader you were elected to be. No, he's not going to call them and tell them, hey, let's start peace talks. But he's going to call Benjamin Netanyahu and call Hamas leadership. Hey, we need to work out a deal, guys. Come on, let's stop this. Let's stop this bickering and fighting. Let's be all big, happy family. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing that on the Ukraine side. And look, I don't know what's going on in Ukraine. I'm not even gonna sit here and give you a conspiracy theory. But something needs to be done. Something needs to change. But on this note, again, does he want war? Does he want peace? Why is he encouraging one country to fight Russia while he's telling the other country that's our ally to give in to the bullies? It just don't make sense. Does he want war or does he want peace? All right. Again, it's another thought I had, and I briefly talked about it earlier. Benjamin Netanyahu and President Joe Biden did talk today. I talked about this at the beginning, and I'm trying to find the article. I shared it on Facebook. I can maybe go find the article on my Facebook. I thought I saved it on talking about that. Go check out the Facebook page, the Cajun Conservative Show. Also go check out Twitter. We're not on Twitter today, but hey, it's all good. All right, let me go pull this up. There we are. Yeah, I want to read the article because it was real good. All right, so The article is entitled, Biden warns Netanyahu that U.S. will change policy on Gaza unless Israel protects civilians. President Biden warned Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that U.S. policy in Gaza could change if the Israel military doesn't do more to improve the humanitarian situation, which Israel has done everything it can. Come on, Israel's one of the only countries that call before they attack. They say, look, we're attacking in 2 hours. Run. Oh, Isaac, 2 hours ain't that much. I'm exaggerating, 2 hours. They give them, hey, we're coming. Y'all need to move. Israel's the only people that do that. Hamas didn't do that with the Israel people. I'm just saying. And during the phone call with the Israel counterpart on Thursday, Biden stressed that Israel strikes on humanitarian workers and the overall humanitarian situation is unacceptable, according to the White House readout of the call. So the same statement was echoed later Thursday by Secretary of State Antony Blinken and White House National Security Communicator Advisor John Kirby, with Blinken telling reporters that the U.S. would shift gears if we don't see the change that we need to see, according to a report from the Jerusalem Post. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, this is America interfering with another country. Should not get done. Okay, I understand the interests because Israel is our ally. But why does Biden have the right? Because, look, I said this the other day about the Mexican president. I'm going to bring this point up as well. Who gave President Biden the right to go ahead and tell his counterpart in Israel, in Jerusalem, how to dictate their war? Okay, I understand the humanitarian situation, but every war is going to have a humanitarian situation. We bombed Baghdad. We didn't worry about no civilians. They are a cost to humanity for the greater good. That's what we was told in America. Ukraine, when they go ahead and attack Russia, don't you think there's civilians involved? President Joe Biden telling his counterpart, you better get that under control. If not, we're going to change our policy again. What is he doing interfering with? We have problems here in the country, and he's worried about Gaza and Israel. Like Benjamin Netanyahu's a 2-year-old and don't know what he's doing. That's what Biden's acting like. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Biden has the mind of a 2-year-old right now, unfortunately. But going to that point, threatening them to change policy. Now, I don't know what policy we have that would in Gaza. I don't know if he's talking about, hey, we're going to stop sending you arms, which if they do, is wrong because that's our ally. On another point, basically this is bribery. Hey, if you don't do what I tell you to do, we're going to take this away. And look, Benjamin Netanyahu's not going to do like Biden. Cave. He's going to say, well, take it away. We're going to find a way. And God's going to protect Israel. On a second point, thinking about this today when I got this and studying for the first segment of the show, or the first monologue, Joe Biden's tough, ain't he? Against our ally, our friend, telling them to do something or he's going to take something away. Again, I talked about this and I briefly talked about it. Now I want to expand on it a little bit. The Mexican president in January went on 60 Minutes and told the United States of America that he was not going to do nothing about the southern border. He ain't going to do nothing about the southern border. He's going to leave the southern border open unless President Joe Biden changed policy in Venezuela and in Cuba. Also, if he sent $20 billion a year to those countries and send some money to Mexico, why don't you? He told the president he wouldn't do nothing unless the president of the United States did this for him. I understand politics, okay? I understand it. But our president, to my knowledge, has not responded to the Mexican president. Now, that's a good thing in some way because he's not bending the knee, but I said it a couple of episodes ago, will he bend? Will he bend? Will he give Mexico what they want? Now, I don't think he would do that because he likes the southern border open. So does the Mexican president. But We have not heard no response of, oh, really? You're going to do that? Well, guess what? We're going to put tariffs on you. We're going to do this, and we're going to close that southern border now. Or we're going to close it for you. You didn't hear no tough talk from President Joe Biden for the Mexican president. Now, the reason you didn't hear no tough talk either on that side, because them two are like two peas in a pod. They agree with mostly everything together. Benjamin Netanyahu, however, this is why he had a good relationship with President Donald Trump, because they both think alike. Boris Johnson was the same way. You notice Boris Johnson always had Donald Trump over. I think he only had Biden one time. Now, he's not the prime minister no more, but think about this, okay? Two peas in a pod. That's why he don't want to ruffle no feathers. But President Joe Biden, not being tough on Mexico, but will be tough with Benjamin Netanyahu from Israel. He's tough. He's tough on. And also, look, I love Israel, but Israel relies on America a lot. Now, I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu is going to go ahead and give in, because Bibi said, "Hey, we got to annihilate these people. We got to get rid of them, or they're going to do the same thing." You got to realize something too. Remember, they had the front in Lebanon. Lebanon was trying. Some terrorist group was coming. They're not advancing no more. Why? Because Israel's showing them, you come after us, we're hitting you. Look, it happened today. Okay, Israel was talking about Iran. Something happened in Syria, and Iran blames Israel for it. And Israel told them, "Look, you come after us, we will hurt you." That toughness. And like I said, I don't see that in Biden. I don't see the courage that Benjamin Netanyahu had. I wish Biden had 1/3 of it. Because Israel right now they have a leader that has a backbone. We have a leader that has spaghetti for a spine. Now he chooses his battles, and look, I don't know if this is the Lord doing this, but he's choosing all the wrong battles. Most of this country still supported Israel, but he's pushing out to the left. And look, recent polls show this. Recent polls show that he is not favorable. I heard a poll today, 80% of Democrats only approve of him. 80%. Well, Isaac, that's a high number. Yeah, but usually it's like 95, 96. I even heard that they have some polls of Robert Kennedy winning, or not winning, but he is carrying at least 15 to 20% of the vote. How true is that? I didn't see the poll. This is third-hand knowledge. I don't know. I heard this. It could be wrong. But if true, who's he influencing? It's not Trump's numbers are staying where they normally stay. Biden numbers are dropping. And that's not good for Biden. They pulling out Barack Obama. I have stories of Barack Obama, and they going on campaigns, and the first lady says she's confident that he's going to win, and she's just like, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't looking good. Biden is picking all the wrong battles. All right, let's move on. So this is the last story, and I really wanted to talk about this on Wednesday. Again, due to my illness, I couldn't be here. And this is a close story for me, because this is right down the road from where we live at in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And look, first off, congratulations to the lady LSU women's basketball. Well, I have to say ladies. LSU women's basketball made it to, I think, the Elite Eight, they call it in basketball. I have not watched hardly none of the Final Four, by the way. I've just been extremely busy. I hardly get the chance to watch TV right now. But the Lady Tigers made it to the Elite Eight, and they were playing the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Lady Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, this is the game last year was one of the best women's basketball tournaments, because Iowa was, I think, number 2. LSU was number 1. You had Reese, and you had I'm trying to think of the lady's name that's for Iowa. She's just beating records after records, and Reese and her both. I think it's Clark. Her name is. I'm not sure. Anyway, but they'd had a game, and this was a rematch, and this happened on Monday night. Now, this game should have been about how the game went. Now, a lot of people are saying LSU got blown out. I didn't watch the game. I know LSU lost by I think like 11 points. Excuse me. Trying to make sure of the score. I have the article here. Yeah, Caitlin Clark. That's her name. So I found, while looking for something else, I found something else. Man, where's it at? Yeah, so LSU lost 94-87. Now, people are like, this is a blowout. In basketball, that's not a bad game. Okay, I didn't play sports as to say organized sports. I played in a basketball league. I played 2 minutes. But it wasn't even double digits. So it was a close game. Now, people on the right are saying that LSU got blown out. But there is some bias in that. Now, going back to that. So this game should have been, I know I'm chasing rabbits tonight. I'm sorry. This morning. So going back to that, though, the game should have been, hey, this was a rematch of the championship. But there's something that happened at this game, and it really got some people flustered, especially on the right. So there's video going around where the national anthem was playing, and the LSU women's basketball team was nowhere around. They were in their locker room. You had the Iowa Hawkeyes on the court holding they were holding hands or something in support of the national anthem. And look, I'm part. I guess you can say I'm part of the right wing media. And I heard on Tuesday, and I heard this from Moon Gaffron, our Louisiana Syndicate radio programmer here. Go check him out online. Give free plug to Moon Gaffron. But Moon brought the story out, and this is when I started hearing it. So again, they went ahead and this talk. The media started saying that LSU walked out. Breitbart has it here. LSU women's basketball team walked off the floor before the national anthem was played Monday night in their Elite Eight matchup against rival Iowa. Now, this like I said, the video started circulating. People started trashing LSU because LSU did not respect the national anthem and all that. And look, I know probably a lot of my favorite listeners, you might disagree with me on this. So this is can't think of the word, a notice before. I'm gonna, like I said, I can't think of a disclaimer. Yay, I got it. A disclaimer on this. But so it was asked to LSU coach. Can't think of her name. Kim Movake. I guess how you say Miss Kim. We're gonna say Miss Kim. So LSU coach Kim, they asked her, what was this? Why was the decision to leave the field? Well, leave the floor. Now, her response, a lot of people said that this was a, hey, get out of it situation. But she said, look, we didn't know, we weren't aware that the anthem was playing. So what she says is that their routine is 12 minutes or so before warm-ups are done. They go into the locker room and they discuss game or they do stuff routine. They do routine that they always. Now, LSU has done this throughout the whole year. Also, we heard, because I'm around the Lafayette area, the UL Cajun basketball teams, they're not normally out there for the national anthem. So a lot of coaches have routines or whatever, and they said, look, this is routine for them. Now, it has gotten so high that this has gotten so high up that the Louisiana governor, Jeff Landry, who I like, called for policy changes after LSU women's basketball misses the national anthem. He even threatened to pull scholarships from LSU. Now, this is the biggest university in Louisiana, and he's threatening this. Jeff, if you're listening, tread lightly, my friend. I understand you with the national anthem and all. Now, on this note, I want to talk about some things with this before our time is up and we get to go home. Did LSU do something wrong? Well, I'm at a 50-50 because I did have a conversation with some friends on this, and I was the oddball out of the table because most of my friends, they were talking about how this was wrong. LSU should have been out there, and LSU should have shown respect for the flag. And I started bringing my opinion, and I got some stares. Because look, if you're watching on Rumble and YouTube, my studio is decked out in American flags. I have American flags, and I have books on the Second Amendment. I have books on the Constitution. I have books. I have a book that talks about how Democrats hate America by Mark Levin. Okay, I'm a patriotic person. But this was done throughout the year, and nothing was going on. Now, this is, I think, where they're messing up the questions on. This is where they're mixing up. Should have LSU been out there? Yes. Okay, let's start off with that. LSU should have been on the court for the national anthem. No ifs, no ands, no buts about it. There should be a policy, and that's where I do agree with Jeff Landry on. The college should tell the athletic directors, hey, y'all have to have them teams out for the national anthem. I understand it might mess up your routine, it might mess up your stuff, but you need to go ahead and have them out there. So I agree with that. They should be out there. That every team should be out there. Now there's two sides to this. The NCAA don't have a policy either. Also, the NCAA apparently feels they can play the national anthem whenever. See, NBA, and I heard this from, like, again, Munga Fawn, the NBA, right before tip-off, the national anthem's played. And both teams have to be. That is policy. That the NCAA, the NBA says this is when the national anthem's going to play. This is when they tip off. NCAA don't have nothing like that. Now, I understand the coach probably would know when the national anthem is, but if they tell her, hey, this is warm-ups, and they decide to play the national anthem, and they're in the locker room, hey, you can't blame Coach Moveki. That's her name, Moveki, for that. Now, let's go according to this too. I'm trying to remember how I want to say this. Was LSU protesting anything? See, that's a whole thing too, okay? Oh, they didn't respect the national anthem. Well, why did they stay in the locker room? They didn't like the national anthem. Okay. Why didn't they want to stay for the national anthem? They just don't like America. Did they say that? Okay. LSU was not protesting the national anthem. See two stories. Yes, they should have been out there. Why weren't they out there? Coach said it the best way. Look, we have routines. We were doing this. We were doing that. We didn't even know the national anthem was playing at that time. We were busy doing our job to beat Iowa, which they didn't. That was the explanation. Now, it could be gravy. It could be whatever. Or it could be like an easy scapegoat. I don't know. But there's no indication that LSU was protesting the national anthem. Not like Colin Kaepernick did. Colin Kaepernick said he was protesting the national anthem and the American flag. There's video of that. So before all you people get your calzones on a bunch and telling me it wasn't, so yes, there's video of Colin Kaepernick saying, I am protesting the flag and the national anthem. And the reason was because of police brutality and racism. That was his explanation. He told us that he was doing that. Half of the NFL was telling us that's why they were protesting the national anthem and the flag. I disagreed with it, but they had the right to do it. But you didn't hear nothing of the LSU players saying that, hey, we chose not to do that. If that's the case, and I told this to my good friend, I know he's going to listen. So, Mike, if you call me, I'm just kind of a conversation we had on TikTok. It's public anyway. It's on my TikTok. Made the point, well, it sounds like that was a way to just get out of it. But at the same time, okay, if they were protesting, they've been doing this all year. And the idea of a protest is to get the attention of the American people, to voice your disapproval of something. They've been doing this all year. You didn't hear none of the LSU players say, well, we're going to go ahead and protest the national anthem this year. You didn't hear none of the NFL, LSU players say, well, you know, we don't like this, we don't like that, so we protest. You didn't hear none of that. So LSU was not protesting the national anthem. I believe it was routine because as you hear more and more sports people talk, they're saying that, look, this is part of the routine. NCAA does not have a policy for this like the NBA does. But with this argument, I would hope the NCAA would change their policy or do better with their programming. Now, I'm going to talk to all my friends that are on the right. You saying that, because I saw some articles say this, and I was like, really? LSU lost, and that's good for them. LSU did not respect the flag. They deserve to lose. Okay, you can have that opinion if you want, but what I've heard of the game, LSU was losing a couple of times in that game. They did regain the lead one time. LSU got outplayed. What would have been your argument if LSU would have won? Oh, but that's hypothetical. I was like, yeah, it is hypothetical because it's a good question to ask. What if LSU would have won? Would that shown that communism was taking over America? No. Look, you can have your agreement with the flag, or what you can agree with me or not disagree with me. My bed is made, and I'm resting in it. But you know, don't say that. Well, because the women of Iowa stood up and they were more patriotic, they won the game. No, they're having a phenomenal season. This is probably their year. Look, they came up short last year. They lost against LSU in that national championship. I was at a friend's house watching that game, and we were cheering LSU on with all our might. I just want to remind everybody in Louisiana, that's the same team you cheered for that you're cutting down today. A game isn't won because if you're more patriotic or not. It's about how you perform on that court. And Iowa, they performed better than LSU, and they won. And they deserve to go into the Final Eight. I don't even know if they did the Final Four yet. With that note, though, I don't think LSU was disrespecting the national anthem. At the same time, they should have been out there. You're trying to have it both ways. No, I'm not. If there isn't a policy and they can take that time to go ahead and study film, they took the opportunity. I don't agree with that. They should be out there. When I played slow pitch softball and the national anthem came on, the hat came off. And my hand went over my heart. I did that the other day. I went and watched a high school game. And we were talking. We didn't realize the national anthem was about to start. The national anthem started. We all stopped. We were aware of it. If they weren't aware of it, but there's no indication that LSU was protesting that. Now, if LSU does come out and say, look, we were protesting, I'll be behind this microphone and I will tell you, and I will tell them they're wrong. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Thank you for listening this morning or whenever you listen to the podcast. Remember that Jesus Christ, again, is King and he's Lord. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end out on this note. You know, I'm going to pray today. I don't know. I feel led to do this. And I am a Bible-believing Christian. And I want to pray that the Lord bless you this weekend. You know, again, there's a lot of stuff going on. We talked about a lot of problems in this nation. But again, as I said in the first part of the episode, Jesus Christ is King and he's coming back soon. Don't be faint of heart. If you're a Christian, you know Jesus, you're going to be blessed. You're going to be highly favored of the Lord. If you don't know Jesus, there's rough times ahead. And I'm not going to say you come to Jesus and it's all roses, because roses have thorns. It's not easy serving Jesus. It's probably one of the hardest things ever in this world. But guess what? The rewards are great. You don't hear Stephen Furtick or people talk like that. Jesus is King. And I'm going to pray for you to have a good weekend. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this audience. We thank you, Lord, for your blessing upon this podcast. We pray that it would reach many ears. And Lord, that you would minister unto every person that's listening to this show today. Open up their heart to your truth. Open up their heart to your mind. And Lord, let the Spirit of God convict. And let the Spirit of God heal. If anyone needs healing from a sickness, heal them. If they need to be filled with the Spirit, fill them with the Spirit. Lord, bless this audience this weekend. Let them have fun. Let them be used for your glory and honor. Let them witness for Jesus. In Jesus' name, Amen. Until next time, you be blessed, you be encouraged. Remember, again, Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back soon, so be ready for his return. We will see you next week.